Welcome to Bleav In 76ers with your hosts, former 76ers point guard Eric Snow and two Sixers fanatics in Marcus and Teja Dash. Bleav In 76ers is presented by BetOnline.AG.
BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BLEAV50, that's BLEAV50, to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Bleav In 76ers podcast. I'm Marcus Dash here with legendary 76ers point guard Eric Snow and my brother Teja Dash. Gentlemen, it's Christmas week. I hope everyone's doing all right. Everyone's getting their gifts and stuff, everything wrapped up so far as we approach Christmas Eve and Christmas Day.
Yeah, we're getting there. As usual, late on finding gifts and finalizing that. But other than that, pretty normal.
I think the physical gifts I'm mostly done, not wrapped, and I think I have like a couple of like the gift cards to buy, but those can be last minute. You don't have to even wrap.
I've never wrapped a gift.
I was going to ask about your gift wrapping skills, Eric. I'm glad you brought that up.
In my entire life,
no. So, does your wife wrap them for you, or do you just give them like the Santa? Like
she wraps everything.
Okay.
Gifts, I've either had someone else do them, or I've had them delivered, wrapped.
Okay.
Or I've given them to her in the box that they came in.
Here, wrap this. Give it back to you. Here you go,
Put
Merry
a
Christmas.
card on it. To Gary.
Make sure you put the names on there. From me.
Cover up the mailing address and stuff. She tried to show me too. Like sometimes, like the one time I did try it, it was so bad. Like I just covered it up. This way covered it up. And then I went this way and covered it up.
Almost like wrapping a box.
Yes.
Taping a box.
Yes, like taping the box. That's just how it was. So it was like tape this way and then cut on the edges, and then tape that, and then go the other way, and then tape that, and then cut the edges and stuff like that. Like that's what I did. So it had no kind of pattern to it. Whatever pattern it had to it, it was like going this way, that way. Mm-hmm. That's my gift wrapping skill.
Yeah, my girlfriend actually had to rewrap one of my gifts because she said it was awful. I pretty much did that. I put the item, the box in the wrapping paper, and then I put it over it, and I just cut it, and it was like so much extra like wrapping paper, so like I had to keep folding it. It looked horrible. Yeah. That's why I stick to gift bags as much as I can. If I can use a gift bag, I'm just gonna put that in there. Put some tissue paper over top of it, and boom, there's your gift.
Yeah,
I can wrap. I'm not great at it, but I can wrap.
You can?
Yeah, sometimes I even do the ones where if it's a certain like size, I'll make it so like the ends kind of poof out. It looks like a giant candy bar, like a little candy, a little.
Where'd you learn how to wrap? Because my mom never taught me how to wrap, so I never. And dad doesn't wrap, so I mean,
my mom never taught me anything about wrapping. My mom spoiled me so much; she did everything for me.
Yeah,
that's the Marcus right there.
Yeah.
I watched sure enough to the point where I thought I could do it. Maybe I helped her out.
She did everything for me. She showed me how to do some stuff that I needed when I left, like how to wash clothes and what to do when you're washing clothes and all of that stuff. Like I had never washed clothes. I had never made my bed when I went to college until I got to college. Like I had never did anything. So my older siblings always know, they always tell me, "You was so spoiled, you didn't do anything." Like I really didn't do anything.
And you own it.
I didn't. Oh yeah. I didn't clean up nothing. I didn't clean up. I didn't wash dishes. Nothing. I did absolutely nothing.
Did you eventually? I mean, are you still Are you still like that? You still just like? Yeah, I was gonna say you just leave a table when you're done.
I mean, I can do it now. Like I'd rather hire someone to do the cleaning.
Yes, of course, yeah.
But I can do the.
Are you on your kids about it though?
Yeah, I make them do it.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have them do it, even though the younger ones, it's like, even the older ones, it's like so horrible. You just like gotta go behind them and do it most times.
Yep.
Then I think like, well, I didn't even do this at all.
Do they know that or no?
Do they know what?
That you didn't do that growing up?
Yeah, they know.
Okay.
I told them I didn't do anything, but what does that mean?
Still means they had to do it.
Yeah, they have to do it. I mean, but they also get and want more stuff than I
Mm.
Okay, there you
do.
go.
So it kind of balances out.
Yeah.
You tell them that too, I'm sure. You got more than me, so you do it.
Yeah, I didn't live in gated communities and have all the have everything I need and TVs and video games and cars and nice shoes and nice clothes. Like I didn't have all that stuff they had.
Yeah. It's a give and take.
Yeah, so I mean, you get all this stuff, and you can clean up after yourself. That's all you're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not cleaning up after me. They don't come clean my room. They clean their bathroom, their bedroom, their play area, where they ate in the kitchen. Put the dishes up that you most likely messed up.
Some parents make their kids clean up after the parents. Like you make, do this for me, do that, do my dish,
if I mess up, I'll clean up after me. Like if I'm sitting at the counter and I'm eating and they sat at the table, I wouldn't just say, hey, clean up the table. I would say clean up the kitchen. But if I made a mess and it's really messy, I'm going to kind of clean that area up.
Own it, yeah.
Not, have them do it. Because they probably won't do it right anyway.
Yeah. I hate to say it. That was what Marcus and I kind of dealt with a lot. Marcus would help out, but knew if he did such a bad enough job that someone would just say, you know what, just stop, just go.
No, that's Marcus is my youngest son. He's my youngest son. He will like
drag his feet through it, and you're like staring. I'm like, you know what, get the hell out of here.
Never mind. And then the youngest one will be like, okay. One older than him will be like, no, I'll do it right. And the young one will be like, all right, see you later.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's a good move.
Doesn't bother him at all.
Hey, we tried. We were there. We didn't say no, but we tried. It just wasn't good enough.
Tried.
Yeah.
It must be a baby thing, because I've heard that from some other friends who are the baby, and they try, but they actually don't actually end up doing the task.
They try and do a bad job.
Yeah,
well, I didn't try anything. That's the moral of the story. I didn't try and I didn't do. So.
That's fair. All right, guys. Well, we hope everyone gets the wrapping done and everything in time for Christmas Day. Or in Eric's case, I hope it just gets done.
Yeah, get the wrapping done, but not physically doing it yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just checking it off.
Yeah.
So I missed last week's show. You guys did a great job last week with our guy Trill. Trill did a good job, but still funny. I was watching the show. I was like, Trill. It'd be so hard for me to call him Trill throughout the entire time. I know that's a name he goes by.
I didn't really. I mean, he said his name, but I only remember Trill. That was like the easiest thing to remember. So I was like, okay, Trill.
Yeah.
That's what he asked me to call him. Like I didn't really know what it meant, but yeah.
Yeah, right. But no, we talked about the homestand that we were going to have. Our first away game will be Christmas Day. And so far this homestand, it's the 7-game homestand. We've won 5 in a row so far. And last night, we actually came back from a fourth quarter deficit, which we shouldn't have had a fourth quarter deficit at all. And won the game despite some weird calls down the stretch of that game. So I got a question for you guys. I mean, what are your thoughts on the streak so far? Are you surprised about the streak? And what was your thoughts on that game last night and the weird questionable calls in that one?
Well, I mean, it doesn't surprise me to winning. I mean, I think that if you looked at the potential for this team, they have the potential for this to happen. They have potential to go on winning streaks. They have potential to especially go on winning streaks at home. So that's something that, I don't want to say you come to expect it, but it shouldn't be something that surprises us. So excuse me. I think that, you kind of get into a groove, you feel more comfortable, and you kind of find a way to win at home. And as far as, like last night, like that was one of those games where it's kind of going our way majority of the game, and all of a sudden they make a run. And in the past, we could have lost that game. You know what I'm saying? I think that
we have a lot.
We found a way to kind of get stops when we needed them and get buckets when we needed them. And, a guy like Tobias made some huge buckets, and the guys make different plays and big plays. But I just think that was the kind of game that you feel like we need, especially when you're about to go out on the road, because you'll find yourself in situations like that where you need a victory and you want a victory, and you find yourself in a hole, and you got to kind of climb out and try to find a way to get the job done.
It's nice to win the games that we're supposed to win, and then win other games that could go other way, right? Raptors are struggling pretty bad right now. They lost 6 straight, but we do have some trouble with them, and they match up well against us. So it was nice to see that win. Golden State without some of their big guns. I mean, they shot crazy in the first half, and we eventually just took control of the game. Kings are playing pretty good ball, but it was nice to see us absolutely dominate them, which I liked. We killed the Hornets. Lakers game, we talked about that. That was crazy. And I looked it up. So it's interesting. 11 of our 17 wins have been by double figures. Only 2 of our wins have come within three points. So we haven't had a lot of close ending games. Even it's crazy. The 2 out of 3 recent overtime games that we have were double digits. Like, we got to the OT, and then Houston beat us by, I think, 11, and then we beat the Lakers by 11. So as far as last night, I love the ball movement. I noticed Harden was making a little more effort to get the ball out of his hands a little quicker, a little earlier in the shot clock, which is nice. It got some ball movement, got everyone else involved. Hurt his assist total a little bit, but by hurt I mean he had 8, which is I think his lowest during the homestand, which is awesome. We were beat again on the boards, of course. And I'd say Raptors stayed that game because of Siakam and Boucher, man. Boucher, for some reason, if he played us a lot more often, he'd make a lot more money, man, because he kills us. I think he had 13 rebounds yesterday. So, and then the all for reffing. Those calls were that crazy. I thought that was like a soccer slide into Tobias's legs, and I don't know.
You know what? When I seen that play, I knew they were going to change that. I knew that they were going to call offensive foul on PJ. Like I would expect it, if I would have been surprised if they didn't call it. Because if he makes any kind of movement, and it was contact, that's going to be a block. I mean, offensive foul every time. The fact that he fell and he kind of played it and he slid and he hit someone's foot like that, I don't think he got hit that hard, obviously.
No, because PJ wasn't moving. He was really
but it was he wasn't moving, but it's when he was set. So when you go to get set, that's still movement. You know what I'm saying?
I meant like moving him in the direction of Tobias.
No, he didn't move him into him, but if he's going around, that's why I felt if it was any form of contact and he wasn't complete, he was getting set, they were going to change it. Like that didn't surprise me at all because that's more rule book than feel.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was a huge call too. That was a 3-point takeaway. That was if we lost because of that, that would have been so brutal.
And it was an and one. You know what I'm saying?
I know. So it's really a 4-point.
4-point play. Yeah.
Man, that's crazy.
Tobias was feeling himself after that shot too. I've never seen Tobias that pumped up before.
He's definitely in it. The whole team was really engaged after that. I guess it takes you being tripped to do that.
It's good.
So Eric, you had no problems with the officiating last night in that game? Because for me, I saw a lot of
I think for me the most part, you look at every game. I think for the most part, the officiating is very similar. You have some calls that don't go your way and some that do. What I think they had some loud misses. some calls that, were just like, yo, everybody in the arena, everybody watching can see that.
Right.
But you three guys can. You know what I'm saying? Like those like what's the guy's name? I can't even think of Siakam. So when he was dribbling right in the middle of the paint, right in the middle of the lane, and he clearly just pushes PJ. Like clearly, like he extended his arm almost like all the way through.
Derrick Henry.
Yeah, like it was like almost like a stiff arm. Yeah, it was almost like a stiff arm. Like, and you don't call it. Like, I just couldn't believe like
He does that a lot though. That's the problem.
But the thing about like he usually pushes and kind of leaves it right there.
Mm-hmm.
But this particular time, he like went and he kind of full extension, which is like, and that's another rule book. Like if you kind of hit and you kind of leave it there, sometimes it won't call it. But if you like extend it like all the way, that's like a rule book call. Is like they call that most of the times if it's minimal contact.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like I'm saying, like those loud plays, like how can all three of you guys miss that?
Yeah. He does that. And that's the problem with guys who are consistent with doing that a lot. It makes it even harder to call, whereas he never does it. And it's like, whoa. That looks weird. That's a foul.
Right. And he does it.
Him and Tatum, man.
It's consistent with him. His consistency in doing it is when he drives left. Whenever he's driving left, he's always doing it with his right hand because he's trying to get the space to come back to the shot with his right hand. So from a standpoint, the team should be kind of putting that in the referee's ear because he's consistent with it, but he's consistent with which arm he's doing it and which way he's dribbling.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even need a scouting report to kind of know that. I've seen him enough. Like, that's what he does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, so keeping on with Siakam then, the next topic was, because, I mean, Siakam, look at his stats against it. I don't know what he averages. I'm sure Teja had the numbers on that one, but he dominates us. So my question is going to be very simple with this one. Why do we have such difficulty guarding Pascal Siakam?
Stiff arms.
Besides the stiff arms? He's sort of a tweener from the standpoint of like PJ's strong enough,
but not tall enough
to stay in front of him. But he can shoot over PJ.
Yeah, he's not long enough,
so he can get to his spots against PJ and still get a shot off. I mean, you kind of worry about putting Joel on him because you kind of got to worry about the fouls.
He's a little too quick for Joel.
I mean, and he'll get some fouls if Joel's a little tired or something. You give him one fake, he'll give, you know what I'm saying? Like, so you got to be careful with that.
I would think he'd be a good matchup for Tobias, but Tobias always gets abused by him.
I think Tobias is a good matchup for him.
Supposed to be, at least.
Yeah, but I think he will. I don't know about Tobias is when a guy has a lot of volume. You know what I'm saying? When a guy, like, we don't look at Siakam like Tatum and all of these other young guys. We don't look at him like that. But his volume is that high.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
His volume usage is that high. So I do think that we probably need to have Tobias and kind of do him the way we used to do Grant Hill. Not saying he's Grant Hill. I'm just saying, but kind of playing him the same way when it was myself and Aaron and George. Like all three of us defended Grant Hill. Three guys, three different looks. Played him three different ways based on who was defending him.
Gave him different looks.
I think maybe more in the playoffs you can do that. I don't know if they would do that in the regular season.
Yeah.
But if we play him again in the playoffs, I believe that's something you got to go to. And even
Tucker, Tobias, and Joel.
Yeah. You know, Thybulle and some other guys can defend it too.
Yeah. Even I mean, might be a little too weak, but Paul Reed's got kind of that makeup to do it.
Yeah, I mean, and it also depends on. Ultimately, it also depends on who else is on court for them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because that matters. You know, are they smaller? Are they bigger? Gary Trent's not playing, so that was another shooter that could be out there. Do they have shooters on the court? Are they bigger? Because sometimes they're bigger that you don't want to put, Maxey or James on guys that's like big and hitting the boards. Like you just because it is a good rebounding team, so you still got to be a little aware of who's defending the other guys also.
Yeah, he killed us though. He is okay. So I did do some stats on this. So
yeah, I figured you would.
Just since 2020, we'll stop there. Since 2020, he's averaging 25, 9, and 6 against us. So, yeah, I mean,
he's happy to see us.
Yeah, it's and the last game he was just on fire. Tobias was guarding him, giving him a little space on deep twos, which I don't mind that. Like give him a just inside the 3-point line shot. He was hitting them all. So it's like there was nothing we could do last game. This game, he was just mixing it up and getting to his spots, man. But yeah, it's hard to guard someone when they're on top of being really good. They have that advantage of give you that chicken wing. Throw you off with Derrick Henry style, man. Like it's just like it's so frustrating to watch, him and Tatum too. I throw Tatum in there because Tatum loves doing that on those drives, just get that little push off with his arm, and it's like you're already really skilled, dude. You don't need to do that, but maybe you do. But yeah, I don't know. I would think when you look at Tobias, I've seen him stick on guys like DeRozan. I know DeRozan and Siakam are the same, but if you can guard DeRozan as far as the quickness factor, I mean, Siakam's not faster than DeRozan. He's not going to beat you around the corner, Tobias. So and Tobias is big enough, so their size is pretty comparable. It's weird to see him get so abused by him. But
those stats was that including playoffs too? Or was that just
that was just regular season?
Okay, yeah,
probably, maybe even go up.
Oh yeah, it definitely would go up.
Include that. That's just regular season since 2020. But yeah, that's yeah, man. He's having it's not like he only does it against us. He's having a great year.
Yeah. Do you think there's a little bit of competitive aspect when Siakam plays us, Eric? Because him and Embiid are both from Cameroon. It's kind of like a who's the main Cameroonian in the NBA between the two of them? Because I feel like when I see Siakam,
I think it's personal.
Yeah,
happen now.
But I don't think it's personal as far as me thinking I'm better than you.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's more like, hey, my team beat your team. Like a more friendly personal,
right?
Than than the more confrontational person.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that comes into play. But I just think that when you play, you kind of get a rhythm against the team, and obviously he has one against us. Like it's not unheard of for a guy to have a team's number.
Yeah,
and just from a standpoint of not winning, he does play a great deal of enthusiasm. His numbers were excellent.
Yeah, it's fun against them too. I think Toronto and the Sixers, they really want to beat each other. It's like it's not just another regular season game. Like you can tell there's an extra little oomph there when they play.
Mm-hmm.
Like when Tobias at the end, I don't know why. I wish I knew what he was saying, but he wasn't saying very nice things at the end. So he was like, they're really into it. They're locked in. They want to beat them.
Yeah, I like seeing those rivalries too, especially when there's like, it's physical, but it's not like extra, like that
dirty.
Too much extra. Yeah, it's not dirty. It's more like, some Sixers fans would say that Toronto is dirty.
Last night wasn't. I didn't see any of those like headshots. At least the last game had like 4.
Yeah,
8 shots.
Yeah, they like throwing bows to Embiid's face, man. Yeah. All right, so sticking with Tobias, we talked about Tobias, and how can you not talk about Tobias after last night's performance? But scoring 21 points on 9 shots last night, 7 of 9 shooting, 5 of 7 from 3, shooting 59% from 3 in December and 42% on the year. 42% on the year, which is wild. Fans love talking about Tobias being traded because of his contract, and we've talked about it multiple times on the show.
Who says that?
We've talked about before. Yeah, that it's always a rumor that Tobias on the block. So my question to you guys is: has Tobias played himself off the trading block for us?
No.
Interesting.
this is a business, right?
Mm-hmm.
So business deals can always be made. So Tobias wouldn't be the first person that's playing well to get moved. Some people would argue the fact that he's playing well is the reason why you would move him.
True.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, it depends on how you're looking at it. So I think the speculation would grow before it would go away.
Like
you have
more
contract, you have a bigger contract, higher contract that's ending. What does it end, Teja, either this year or next year?
After next year. So he's got one and a half left.
Yeah, so
it's technically it's expiring after.
Yes. So you have a contract that's on the back end of the contract.
Yes.
So that's not going anywhere. I think next summer is even going to be even more.
Oh yeah.
So that's what he's doing right now. He's playing into more injuries.
Especially how this season.
Yes, especially how the season goes, because he's what he's doing is he's growing into
contract,
accepting and delivering in the role that's been given to him.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the role he signed up for.
No.
So, and he's been successful and that's what a lot of people want to see.
Yep.
So
he's playing confident too. He's really owning that. Tell your friend that he's a sharpshooter. So he's really embracing that role, and he really does whatever we need him to do. If we need him to go ISO for a little while because we don't have as many scorers on the court, he does it. He guards some wing guys that I think sometimes that he shouldn't be sticking with, and he does. He guards bigger guys. He's a quick trigger. He just pulls it now, and he's shooting lights out. If we find a deal that benefits us, do I think we would do it? Yeah, I think of course we would. Morey would definitely do it. Problem is, at this stage, are we going to get the deal we want because he's got a year and a half left? Probably not. I do think Eric's right with the whole after this season, it's I think grow a lot. I think you'll get a lot more suitors after this season.
Mm-hmm.
But I have an interesting question though, because Marcus and I were talking about this yesterday. I know we're getting ahead of ourselves here, but while we're on the topic of it growing in the next season, the off season, as far as trade speculation, how far would we have to go to justifiably run it back without any big changes? In the championship?
Finals.
I mean, you get into the finals and lose? Okay.
I don't think the conference semifinals gets you to the point where you feel like you don't have to make a change.
Yeah. That's kind of what we were saying, too. We'd have to get to the finals and then probably lose or win either way.
And it depends on how the finals went.
Yeah, and why we lost and how we lost. Yeah.
Because you can go to the conference semifinals and lose in game 7 on the road, and people could say, well, we got to get rid of Doc Rivers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Especially if we're up 3-1 or something.
Even if we are. If we up 3-1, it doesn't matter which round it is.
Yeah, I'd say at that point, it's hard to argue, man. I did see a funny tweet from Francis Parker on Twitter. It was a Tobias Harris apology form, and it said date, reason for behavior, and then it lists out a bunch of check boxes. And the first one is the media convinced me he was done. 2 was I only looked at advanced analytics. 3 I was jealous of. 4 I didn't watch the actual games. 5 I don't know basketball. And 6 Mercury was in retrograde. I actually tweeted at it and said let's add one more. And I gave it a contractual reason. I said a contract always bothered me. Because that would be mine. So if I am going to check a box, that would be it. And at the end, I said, I will hereby respect Tobias Harris, and I will not talk down on the future first ballot Hall of Famer. But I thought that was great.
The question that Tej and I had last night, we were talking about it. Let's say, knock on wood, let's say we go to the finals, we lose or we win, and then next year comes, we run it back with the same team we have. Because we gave Tobias all that money and we kind of honored it throughout the entire time. Yeah, there was speculation that we might trade him. This is all hypothetical. Do you think there's a chance that Tobias would take a hometown discount to stay with us? because I love Tobias. I think he fits with us.
I think he does that, but when guys are taking those discounts and they're taking them towards the end of their career, I guess he got to feel like we got a chance to stay competitive and winning championship every year.
Mm-hmm.
Ultimately, that's a goal here. So I can see him doing that. I mean, the Sixers would have his rights and his bird rights, so they would be able to pay him the most money. But I think that it could be some creative ways that you can do with that. I think the fact that they have his bird rights, they're able to have more creativity in a contract structure that could possibly be beneficial for both.
Assuming we would hold on to him for 2 more years or a year and a half.
Assuming he's here, the whole time. You're right.
And he's 30 and a half. So he'll be
30.
He'll be 31 this time next year. And then, going into the following season.
You're right at that stage where they really don't want to give you long-term deals.
Yeah, he'll be about 32
unless, unless you're one of those top guys. Once you hit 30, 31, 32, they want to limit you to 1 or 2 year deals, really, maybe 3, and that's it. Because they don't want to really have your contract going past 34, 35.
Yeah. It planned out pretty well as far as the years for Tobias. I mean, that is coming to a point where his game might start to decline a little bit at that age. So he'll be a free agent at that point.
No.
But he can shoot. Yeah. So
he's shooting well.
Yeah. And he's becoming that knockdown shooter for someone who is, as he gets older. I mean, that's going to be kind of his bread and butter.
That's kind of what we have said. That, when we first, being like full season with James, and we were saying that we felt if Maxey's going to continue to kind of be third in shots and attempts, that most of Tobias' shots were going to be spot up shots.
Yep.
Unless guys are out or foul trouble, then you can kind of change it up how you kind of play them. But for the most part, that's how his shots are going to be. We talk about that's what PJ Tucker does, but that's what Tobias should be doing too.
Yeah.
And you see a little more of that, and he's knocking them down. So hopefully that continues.
They showed his shot chart. Someone posted it on Twitter yesterday, and it was like a Morey wet dream. It was like all threes and paint, threes, paint, threes, paint. I mean, some outside shots, but not nearly the majority. It was all in the paint or it was outside threes.
Yeah.
So.
And also another thing I love, just another thing about last night's game. The spread scoring off the bench. Everyone kind of contributed to last night's victory. Everybody who played got some points last night. So it was good to see the overall scoring. All right, so now we got some predictions here. We got some got 3 here. So our next one tomorrow night, Detroit Pistons at Philly. We are a 10-point favorite right now. So my question to you guys is, do we keep and hold the double-digit lead against the Pistons tomorrow night?
This was a tough one for me.
Really?
I think we'll win it. I'm not sure about the 10-point win. I just think that they'll play scrappy enough, nothing to lose, kind of come in, and I got us winning, but I'm not. I would say by less than 10.
I like that it opened up as a 10-point favorite as far as like odds and betting goes. If it opened up at like 9, I'd be a little scared about, people trying to entice people to take that single-digit game against them, a bad team. But I think we win double digits. I'm going to go over that.
Wow. Especially
after I saw the numbers on our double-digit victories. It's like more than half of our victories are double digits.
That's true.
But
okay, so the next one we got, so Friday night, Clippers at Philadelphia. Obviously, Clippers, we never know who's going to be in, who's going to be out, so the line isn't in on that one yet. So assuming their main guys are in, who do you guys have in that one between the Clippers and the Sixers?
We'll win at home against the Clippers. We'll get them at home, and we'll struggle and lose out there.
LA, yeah. The Doc series, Doc Bowl.
Doc Classic.
That That's gonna be a tough one. I hope all the guys play for them. I hope Kawhi and George and they all play. I want to see their best versus our best. And I think Zubac is battling an injury too. So that's just big. They don't have, outside of him, they don't have a lot of size to be able to guard Embiid. So I think that one's going to be closer. I think that one's going to be like an under 5 game for us. Depending on who plays or not. I think it'll go down the wire and we'll win by 3 or 4.
All right. Okay, so our first game that we played away in like 20 days. So and we get a Christmas Day game, so it's always fun to watch our team on Christmas Day. Most of the NFL games are on Saturday this weekend. Only a few games on Sunday, but you got Sixers basketball on Sunday instead of.
What a great weekend of sports watching.
Yes, definitely.
Oh man,
unbelievable.
Okay,
so we are playing at Madison Square Garden, the Knicks. The line is out on that. We are a 2-point favorite. So I think it's interesting. Our first game out of Philadelphia in like 20 days, and we're a 2-point favorite. That was interesting. So my question to you guys, will Christmas be kind to the Sixers, or will we get coal in our stocking on Christmas Day?
We're going to lose that game.
You think so? Oh, coal stocking.
Yeah. Knicks are playing well.
They are playing pretty well.
Brunson's back. Big game for them. Really big game for them.
Yeah, it is
arguably the biggest game of the year for them.
And we'll probably be coming off like a 6 or 7 game.
From a measuring stick standpoint, it could be the biggest game for them.
Wow.
I think because of the game, the team, and first game on Christmas Day. I think with everything that's going on there, I think they kind of pull it out against us.
And our first away game in 3 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I just, holidays and being gone, that don't necessarily feel good to me.
What time is that game?
Noon.
Okay, so they're going to be looking to get back on a flight and get back to Philly ASAP after that, huh?
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
I don't know what they do. We used to take the train, but I don't know if they still do that or not.
Oh, okay.
For an away game, though, I mean, this is probably the best. I mean, outside of playing at Brooklyn, I mean, it's probably the best game to have an away game on Christmas, right?
I think we talked about this before the season. It's one of our topics before the season started. It was. We're here now. It's crazy.
It's because you can get back home on Christmas Day. It's not just the place, but it's time, the time of the game.
Right.
Yeah.
That you can be home and let the game be over by 2:30-ish. 2:15 and rush everybody out. If they still take the train like we did, I don't know. Get the private train, you just get everybody get dressed, go underneath, get on the train, go back. You're back in Philly and within 2 hours from when the game ended. So you could be home by 5 o'clock.
Pretty good.
Great. Yeah. Man, I was feeling good about that one. You raised some good points. I'd like to see how we close out this homestand. I feel like if we win with Detroit and against Clippers, I feel like we'll be waiting for our bubble to pop a little bit and bring us back to like a somewhat reality. And our away home splits are pretty brutal. Like our away record's terrible. So combine that with not playing away in 3 weeks, with thinking about getting back home to your family, and you've been at home with your family for 3 weeks. It's like the first time away in a while, right? So that's pretty crazy. So they want to get right back there, but they're a 2-point favorite, or we are?
We're a 2-point favorite.
Ooh. That's interesting. I'm going to go because of that. I'm going to go with us in a squeaker.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that night I'm trying to see. So Eagles play the day before, so there's not going to be any kind of 1 o'clock Eagles and noon Sixers game. So Philadelphia fans will be all right splitting that up.
Nice weekend of sports again.
Yeah, and you got bowl games sprinkled throughout, like before and then after. It's amazing. It's a degenerate's wet dream right here. This the next few weeks.
Nice.
But all right, guys, well, that does it for us. Thanks for tuning in to Bleav In 76ers podcast. We hope everybody has a safe and healthy Merry Christmas with your families.
Absolutely. All right, guys.
Take it easy, guys.